Today we have yet another facelift version with us from this Japanese manufacturer. Could this particular car be yours? Let's find out. I am Harshavardhan. Welcome to GaadiKey. Nissan had launched the Magnite back in 2020, and ever since then, just to stay in the market, they have been giving updates every year. In the last 3 to 4 years, they have been coming up with 1 or 2 updates as well. Well, this year they have upped the game a little and they have changed the external design, and also a few features are added. Let's take a look into them. Now coming to the exterior part of the car, you can see that the grille has been changed. It is much more wider. The headlights almost integrated with the grille over here. Now the chrome element is also more broader. They have anyways retained the DRL finish on the bumpers. A new design update is that there is a front diffuser where you can see that the fog lamp housing is also changed. Now also let me tell you, the headlight and the fog lamp come in LED. The 360 camera for the front of the car is placed right underneath the logo. Now coming to the side, there is no much major change. Apart from that, now you get to see a new 16-inch alloy wheels which are diamond cut. Apart from that, the same contour lines are running from the front till the back, and you have the Nissan Magnite badge on the fender over here. You get a chrome door handlebars with a request sensor to open and close the car. You anyways have a 40-litre petrol tank over here, where let me tell you, you still don't get a push to open petrol cap over here. Now we are looking at the rear side of the car. You have a very nice spoiler over here which also houses the rear taillight section, which also houses a washer for your rear wipers. Now coming to this particular part, you can see that the entire taillight is updated. Now it also comes in a new M-style taillight which might signify the Magnite name itself. You can see that the Magnite letters are over here. You have the Nissan badging on the top. You can see that the CVT and turbo badgings on the extreme corners. Now let's open the boot and see what's the space in that. Now, talking about the boot space, you get around 336 liters of boot space, and you get around 690 liters of boot space when you fully flatten out the second row. You anyways have a parcel tray which is almost standard on almost all cars now, and you get a 14-inch spare tire which is pretty small for you but should do. Now the major update here is on the interior. You can see that Nissan has gone a little more further and they have made sure that there is soft touch on major parts of the interior. As you can see that the dashboard also gets a soft touch. Your door pads are also coming with a soft touch which are fully in leather. Your center armrest, your steering wheel, your hand brakes are all coming in a new leather finish. Your steering wheel anyhow has the same basic features, that is your mode controls for your infotainment system. And on the right side, you can easily control your instrument cluster with the same. So there's a very premium touch to the car, that is the IRVM, which comes with a frameless finish that looks a little more elegant and premium. Now anyhow, you still get a center armrest which has a small cabin space, and you have twin cup holders over here. You have a automatic or a manual gearbox, which is a CVT or a manual accordingly. You have space for 2 phones over here, one on the above shelf and one on the lower side. Now Nissan claims that these particular seats are something which are made of a technology which doesn't let the interior get heated up soon. So they claim that the seats have something called as guard tech, which doesn't let the interior get heated up much. So there's also a feature on the AC which is called as the plasma ionizer, which keeps the air quality better inside the car. Whenever you turn on, the ionizer works whatever the magic it does and makes sure that your air quality inside the car is better. Now I must tell you something that I didn't really like. This particular handbrake, whenever you release it, you can see that the entire park, reverse, neutral, drive and L are all hidden. Now for somebody who is well experienced, makes sense that they can understand what gear they are driving in or what. But for somebody who is new to cars, who would want to see what gear they are, apart from what it shows on the instrument cluster, they will not be able to figure out what it is unless they move a little to the left or the right, and when they can see, and that's when they can see it. But this can be a little risky because you are driving a car. Now one of the very few things that Nissan has never addressed to our concerns were that there are a lot of exposed parts over here. You can see that the entire steering rod column is still exposed, that you can see it whenever you're turning your particular car. And apart from that, the dead pedal placement is very weird. For a person who is 5 feet 11 inches tall like me, the placement of this particular dead pedal is not really appropriate. My leg is more comfortable on the higher side, but they have placed it on the lower side, which does not make me a little comfortable. Now I'm sitting in the rear seat of the car. I must tell you that there is ample amount of space for anybody. Now I'm a very thin guy, so for me it is comfortable. Now 2 people can comfortably sit. Now anyway, you have a center armrest with twin cup holders. You have the same mobile holder space over here. You don't get a center headrest. These headrests are adjustable as well. Now my under thigh support is a little less, but my knee room and the headroom is very much comfortable. I have a very nice view of the outside as well. I have a small light set over here that tells me if the door is open, or I can simply keep it off, or if I want it to continuously run, I have that mode as well. Now you get nice seat pockets over here. You can probably keep a magazine or a newspaper over there. Apart from that, you get a C-type charging socket over here. You don't get it in the front, but you do get it in the rear. In the front, you do have a USB charging socket, so you can put in a USB cable and use it. But in the rear, you have a C-type socket. Now you have rear AC vents over here right above the C-type charging socket, which are adjustable in direction, and you can also control the blower settings. Now you're just shooting the car and trying to roll down the windows just by turning on the ignition, but it didn't. You'll have to make sure you turn on the entire car. That is when you'll get to roll down your windows all throughout, which is something is not nice. There are a couple of new features that have been added to the car. Something that is, you walk away from the car, it is automatically going to lock. You don't have to press on your lock button. And the same goes that you walk towards the car, it is automatically going to unlock it. I'm not doing anything. It just unlocks by itself. All I need to do is just get into the car. So now, coming to the driving part, now this car, I must appreciate Nissan that they have made sure that the cabin insulation is going to be a priority for them, and they did put in efforts, because the cabin insulation is so nice. I can't really hear much sound from the outside, and that's really good. You don't really have much disturbance from the outside, unwanted honkings, people talking, etc. It's pretty sturdy. It's pretty silent on the inside. But I must make sure to tell you guys that the engine sound of this particular CVT is extreme. Like right now, it is dead silent over here. The road's pretty decent. The road's empty. There's no sound over here. But as soon as I pedal on the accelerator, engine noise that comes post 4000 RPM is very much that it is heard on the inside. So right now I'm in a dead stop position. I'm going to just throttle it out full. Now the road's empty, please don't try it anyway. Now the road's completely empty. I'm just going to go till 4000 RPM. You guys could literally hear it on the camera. Post 4000 RPM till 5000 or till the gear shift happens, it is pretty noisy. It kind of gets irritating. Now there's no other option. You can't really do anything. This is the CVT engine. I believe the manual engine also would be something like that. Talking about the suspension is pretty decent. It is good. Suspension is pretty decent. Apart from that, there is something I must tell you. The brakes are not really that great. Once you start hitting the brakes hard, you start feeling that the brake might not work. Because right now, if I'm hard braking, suddenly it will not give me a response that it will stop. The brakes could have been better. So now we are driving the turbo CVT variant, that is the top variant. Now this car comes with a 100 PS power and 152 Newton meter torque, and that. You also get this in the manual variant and also get it in the naturally aspirated variant. But they are with an underpowered figure, that is around 72 PS of power and roughly around 110 or odd change Newton meter torque. So that is about the engine specifications for these particular models. Okay, this doesn't come with a wireless Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. You have to plug in your device with a cable, and that is when you can access the feed. You have nice view of the outside. You are sitting upright. You don't have the bonnet coming on your view. All fine, everything's good with this car. But there is always a but. The instrument cluster is pretty laggy when you're trying to navigate between the options that it provides. Now you have fuel economy option that it shows. You have drive computer option A, you have drive computer option B, and you have tire pressure monitor system that shows the tire pressure in the car, which is pretty laggy when you are trying to navigate it. So I must tell you one main thing about this particular gearbox. Though it is an automatic gearbox, most of the automatic gearbox comes with a manual mode wherein you just slide it, you just get a plus or a minus option so that you can get to drive it according to your particular choice. So let's assume that you're trying to overtake somebody and you want to immediately gear down. You can just put it to the manual mode, gear down, and then you can gas it in. But this car doesn't come with that particular mode. You don't get a plus or a minus option. So if in case you're somebody who would have a mindset that you can pick up an automatic and also utilize the manual part, this gearbox doesn't come with that. So let's talk mainly about something, that is the pricing of this car. Now the pricing of this car starts from 5.99 lakhs, that is the base variant, and goes all the way to 11.5 lakhs, that is the top end. Now we are driving the top end variant, which is the CVT engine, but the base variant obviously with certain features which would be minus, you would get it for a manual transmission. That would be around 5.9 lakhs. Okay, so apart from that, it has got a very nice turning radius. Generally you might take three turns or something, that's when you get a full your turn, but this would get it done in one go itself. You don't have to really worry much. I'm just doing one and I just pull back, and now the second go I am off, and I'm not really worried about, you know, causing a lot of traffic. It's just 1 2 1 2 and then I'm out. So it's got a very nice turning radius, much appreciates for that. Now one more major thing I must tell you is that the rear view camera or the 360 camera which we are looking at in the infotainment is not really that good. I mean, you are paying a good, if you're picking up the mid variants or if you're picking up the top variant, you're paying a good 8 to 12 lakh price. You would expect the rear view, you would expect the rear camera or the 360 camera to be a little better. It is not really that great. It still has the 3 megapixel or the 2 megapixel camera feeling, but it could have really been better. So overall speaking, this is a pretty decent car, provided the fact that you get a CVT gearbox and also a manual gearbox, obviously. If you're a person who is a hardcore manual gearbox lover, you can any day pick up that. Personally speaking, I haven't driven the manual gearbox because we have a CVT variant with us, so I can give you an opinion about the CVT gearbox. Now the CVT gearbox is a little laggy, obviously, one because it is having a turbo engine, but apart from that, you don't have a paddle shifter for your quick gear shifts. Apart from that, if you are somebody who is majorly driving this car in the city, the gearbox is sufficient, be it manual, be it automatic. And the point that I had mentioned, that the brake is not really that good in the city, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't overspeed. So considering you would be in a considering you would be in a city drive speed limit, this gearbox or this brake setup should do. You don't really need to worry about this being a very bad choice or anything. It is pretty decent. Now this was our particular review of the Nissan Magnite. Well, should you buy it? Yes, if you're somebody who would be traveling majorly in the city and once in a while on a weekend drive or on a long drive, you can have this particular car. The engine's nice, it's comfortable, it's also spacious, it's getting new features and everything according to the latest trends. But what would be the GaadiKey rating? We would rate it a 4 out of 5. The reason why we are rating it 4 out of 5, it has got certain drawbacks. You can see that there are exposed parts of the car wherein you can see the steering rod column. You can also see that the handbrake is not comfortably placed down because it blocks your views down. Apart from that, as I had mentioned, that the windows don't roll down unless you fully start the car. Now, this were the small ones. The major one is obviously because that the CVT engine is very loud once it crosses 4000 RPM, that it can be heard inside the cabin. That was the whole reason why I am giving it a 4 out of 5. Well, thank you for watching this particular video. I am Harshavardhan. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any doubts, please drop it down in the comments. I would be more than happy to answer it to you guys. See you all in another such video. This is Harshavardhan signing off.